Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. Part 1. Success begins in the mind. Your attitude is your window to the world. It was just after 1 p.m. and Sarah was getting hungry. She had put in a few productive hours of work at her desk and decided to get a bite to eat at a nearby coffee shop. A few minutes later, Sam walked into the same coffee shop. He too was on his lunch break. Sam sat down at a table a few feet away from Sarah. The same waitress served Sarah and Sam that afternoon. Each customer waited about the same amount of time before the waitress took the order. Each of them received their meal around the same time. Each of them was served well-prepared, wholesome food. And each waited the same amount of time for the waitress to deliver the check. But that's where the similarities ended. Sarah had walked into the coffee shop with a smile, a spring in her step, and a very positive outlook on the world. It was plain for everyone to see. Her body language and her posture reflected her optimism. Sarah had a delightful lunch, exchanged some pleasant conversation with the waitress, and went back to work with a recharged battery. Sam, on the other hand, had entered the coffee shop with a scowl on his face. He looked like he'd been sucking on sour pickles all morning. He was hunched over and tense. His body language cried out, "Stay away from me." He was annoyed when the waitress didn't take his order immediately. He was annoyed at how long it took for his meal to arrive. He complained about the food and was furious when he didn't get his check right away. Why did Sarah and Sam have such different experiences in the coffee shop? Remember that each was treated in exactly same way. It comes down to this. Sarah sees the world with a positive attitude. Sam sees the world with a negative attitude. A definition of attitude. Think of your attitude as a mental filter through which you experience the world. Some people see the world through the filter of optimism, a glass being half full, while others see the life through a filter of pessimism, a glass being half empty. Let me give you some examples to explain the difference between a positive attitude and a negative attitude. First, the person with a negative attitude thinks, "I can't." A person with a positive attitude thinks, "I can." Person with a negative attitude dwells on problems. Person with a positive attitude concentrates on solutions. Person with a negative attitude finds fault with others. Person with a positive attitude looks for the good in others. Person with the negative attitude focuses on what is missing. Person with a positive attitude counts his or her blessings. Person with a negative attitude sees limitations, and a person with a positive attitude sees the possibilities. I could go on and on with the examples, but I'm sure you get the idea. When I talk to audiences about attitude, I often like to use word pictures. They help people to understand and remember what I said. Let me paint this picture for you. Your attitude is your window to the world. Everyone starts with a clean mental window. Let's take a few moments to discuss why I say that your attitude is your window to the world. We all start out in life with a good attitude, or should I say a clean mental window. Just watch young children. They're always laughing and giggling. They have a sunny disposition. They love to explore new things. Consider the attitude of a child who's learning to walk. When he stumbles and falls down, what does he do? I tell you what he doesn't do. He doesn't frown or blame the carpet. He doesn't point fingers at his mother or father for giving him lousy instructions. He didn't quit. He doesn't quit. Oh no. He smiles, gets up again, and makes another attempt. And another. And another. He keeps going for weeks and weeks with a positive attitude until he gets it right. His window is a squeaky clean and he feels like he can conquer the world. But as you know, there comes a point where life starts throwing some dirt at your window. And here what happens. Our window gets splattered by criticism from parents and teachers. Our window gets smudged by ridicule from peers. Our window gets smeared by rejections. Our windows get soiled by disappointments and gets clouded by doubts. The problem is, dirt keeps building up and all too many people do nothing about it. They continue to go through life with a filthy window. They lose their enthusiasm, they get frustrated and depressed. And most tragically, they give up on their dreams, all because they failed to clean their attitude window. That's the road I was traveling down. I had a dirty window when I was an attorney. And the longer I stayed in the field, the filthier my window got. I saw no possibilities. How could I? My window was splattered with the mud of negativity. Wash your window. But then, by the grace of God, I learned that all I had to do was clean off my window. I had to improve my attitude so I could see the world clearly again. After I removed the grime from my window, the whole new world opened up for me. The frustration and depression lifted. I had more confidence. For the first time in many years, I could see the magnificent possibilities that life had to offer. And I was able to make a career transition and do work that I absolutely love. When you really think about it, I'm in a business of helping people to clean off their windows to get a better attitude. Do you see what I mean when I say the attitude is your window to the world? Can you appreciate how your attitude affects the way you see everything in your life? More importantly, are you beginning to see these areas where your window needs to be washed? You control your attitude. It's your job to keep your window clean. Sure, I can give you a little encouragement and other people can encourage you too, but in the end, nobody else can do it for you. You see, you always have a choice. You can leave the filth on your window and look at life through the smeared glass, but there are consequences to that approach, and they are not very pretty. You will go through negative and frustrated life. You will be unhappy. You'll achieve only a fraction of what you're capable of achieving. But there is a better way. When you choose to take out your Swiggy and clean your window, life will be brighter and sunnier, and you will be healthier and happier. You'll set some ambitious goals and begin to achieve them. Your dreams will come alive again. Still doubting whether you really have the power to change your attitude? Perhaps you're thinking, Jeff, that's easy for you to say. Your attitude would be so good if you had my problems. Granted, some really devastating things may have happened to you. You may have endured much sufferings. Perhaps you're going through some tough times right now, but even under the worst circumstances, I will contend that you have the power to choose your attitude. I'm not saying it's easy, but the fact remains the choice is yours. Let me tell you about a man who is well qualified to speak on the subject of attitude. His name is Dr. Viktor Frankl, and he went through hell on earth and managed not to only survive but to inspire millions of people. You see, Victor endured years of horror as a prisoner in the Nazi death camps. To make matters worse, his father, mother, brother, his wife died in the camp or were killed in the gas chambers. Every day, Frankel and the other prisoners suffered from the hunger, cold, brutality. Can a person control his or her attitude in a situation like that? Here's what Dr. Frankl had to say about the importance of attitude in his best-selling book, Man's Search for Meanings. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way, even though conditions such as lack of sleep, insufficient food, and various mental stress may suggest that the inmate were bound to react in certain ways. In a final analysis, it becomes clear that the sort of person the prisoner became was the result of an inner decision and not the result of the CAM influence alone. Now, Dr. Frankl and the other prisoners had the ability to choose their attitudes in the face of such unspeakable sufferings. And who are we to claim that we cannot take control of our attitudes? A happy person is not a person in certain sets of circumstances, but rather a person with a certain sets of attitude. It's a very powerful statement, and it's the truth. When it's all said and done, you and you alone control your attitude. Attitude and success. Okay, let's say you clean off your window and develop a positive attitude. You're smiling, you sit home and think positive thoughts. Will that alone lead your outrageous success and the realization of your fondest dreams? No, it won't. Because there are more to success than just having a great attitude. To maximize your potential and achieve your goals, you need to apply certain time-honored principles of success that have helped millions of people to achieve extraordinary results. And they'll do the same for you. In the next 11 lessons of this book, I'll be taking you through the success principles step by step. You will learn about confronting your fears, overcoming adversity, harnessing the power of commitment, and much, much more. You will get the information and inspiration you need to start living the life you have always dreamed of. Still, you may be wondering, what do these success principles have to do with attitude? In a word, everything. That's why I say attitude is everything. Without a positive attitude, you can't activate the other principles. Your success in life begins and ends with your attitude. It's only when you clean your attitude window that the other success principles can shine through. If your inner window is smushed, only a fraction of the light of these principles can get through. Your success is limited or even blocked. But when you learn to keep your attitude window clear, the light comes pouring in and you can use these empowering principles to earn more money, have more satisfying relationships, increase your spiritual awareness and reach your full potential. When you combine a positive attitude with the other success principle, you become unstoppable.